Welcome back to the show, folks. This is the Upper Tier Podcast. It's Pro Wrestling Weekly, and we are back again with another smashing show for you. We put lots of stuff together. Always want to get your input in the chat as well. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel, hitting the bell notification button, and most importantly, that like on the video. Right down there, if you haven't done it, hit the like on the video. Spread the word. Pro Wrestling Weekly growing week on week. You'll recognize this man from the last time we had an OTT show. When this man is on the screen, something big is happening in Irish wrestling. That's for sure. And he's going to be dropping his knowledge and his thoughts of the Irish scene. No doubt, at this stage, we're going to be doing a preview for OTT's 10th anniversary, making me feel old. 10th anniversary. I was there for all the original shows when it kicked off and the predecessor promotions and everything else in between. And we also will take a quick look at Belfast as well. I'm not sure what way that twists with that and stuff like that, but I'm sure you will know, my good friend. Sean, how are we?
I'm doing wonderful, Niall. How are you?
Good, yeah, not at all. I've had a good start to the week. Plenty of podcasting going on. Don't forget, Thursday, back on your screens with Darren. And Saturday, I'll be doing a preview for the Arsenal game as well. But tonight, we'll have a quick look at Bound for Glory. We're going to do a recap on Raw and SmackDown, as we always do. We're going to be talking about one Vince Russo, sure to generate conversation. And we'll be asking you, The Undertaker and Kane, the Brothers of Destruction, as Joe Biden sent them in to ruin Trump's campaign, or what has happened there. Trump appearing on Undertaker's podcast there the other day, although he'll probably say that Undertaker appeared on his podcast, but that's neither here nor there. We'll go through that as well, and a few other bits in between as well, some good stuff. So in the comments, Eno's in, what's the crack, how are you, my friend? I'll be happy to hop on the pod if that's all right. Not tonight, man. We've got to get through it with Sean, and we've lots to get through. But we will have you on soon. I think I'm due to bring you on. I think for a Crown Jewel preview or something like that. As far as now, congratulations, Noel. Big up, Warren. Love you, my friend, as always. Warren, we have to talk about doing a preview. We have to get a preview together for this Arsenal game this weekend. Myself, yourself, Coyle, and Delboy have a bit of crack. Great to see you, Sean. There you go.
Thanks, Eno. Oh, by the way, I was watching, speaking of Eno, like a few days ago, I was watching back the Scrappermania review that I did with Sean. And I was looking through, and Eno commented that like we were both two great young men, knew our stuff, we're going to go far and keep the faith. And I was too busy talking bollocks about something, so I didn't see it. So, Eno, thanks so much. You're a superstar.
Yeah, absolutely. And he sent me a message today. I didn't get a chance to respond to him because I was busy, but he sent me a message today saying he was really looking forward. He thought both you boys were coming on. I obviously hadn't updated anyone, but
yeah,
there you go. But if you can't get both, it's all right to get one. So there we go. Right. So we'll kick off, first of all. We won't start quite with OTT straight away, but we'll get your thoughts on this. Sammy leaving the building, massive statement leaving, basically thanked everyone bar the firefighters in each of the cities and all that WWE has been and all that kind of stuff. I think she's going to be a big loss, but you're watching Raw last night, and out comes, after 8 years, one Lillian Garcia. Thoughts?
I love Lillian Garcia. I'm nostalgic for her, but man, Samantha was so good. I'd say, like, I know we've had like a bit of a run through ring announcers over the years. A lot of them haven't, like, some have been better than others, but I think Samantha was just so good. It was kind of a shock because I don't think like her contract was up. I don't know if she had any heat or any disagreements with people. It just seemed really sudden. I saw the tweet and I was thinking like, oh, it was going to be by the end of the month or after the next pay-per-view or by the end of the year. I won't be with WWE, but it was no, I'm done. I'm not here. But she was so talented. She brought so much energy. The fact that she often said that she wasn't told results. So she wasn't going to be told, okay, so he's going to win this match. So when he wins, do this. So she felt really genuine and really, really honest. And I don't think that you get that quality in a lot of ring announcers because they're just corporate people. They're told, when he comes out, announce him this way. When they're going to win, announce him this way. No, such a great loss, but she's really talented, and I know wherever she goes, whether it be wrestling or in music, she's going to strive. So I wish her nothing but the best, and thanks for the memories.
Yeah, Lillian put out a video thanking everyone for the reception last night. She got a phenomenal reception when she came out. But at the end of it, she was talking about Sammy and wishing her well and all that. And she said, good luck with the music career, which made me felt like she got an opportunity of a recording deal or a music deal or something like that. And it was too good to turn down because we know that's her passion. And but yeah, some of those memories she's given us, like when she was in tears when Cody won the belt at Mania and all, and fighting back the tears to try and announce it and all. It was just phenomenal. So raw and so touching and so real and all that. And she was phenomenal at that. Now, our boy Ricochet has come out and said she's not on her way to AEW. Now, I respect you, Ricochet, and I like you and all that kind of stuff, but don't be spoofing us now, because I think she will probably eventually rock up on AEW. I don't think it'll be so soon, but I think maybe 6 months to a year down the line, I think it might happen. I think at the moment she'll probably just focus on her recording career. I kind of felt, I don't know how you felt, but I kind of felt when Ricochet left, I kind of felt we were on a timer, really, that it was only a matter of time, really.
Sorry. Yeah, I think so, but you know, like there's been wrestlers who are couples who have been in different companies or different shows or something. But I didn't. But the thing is, Ricochet wasn't really being used for anything. Meanwhile, Samantha Irvin was the lead announcer, so I think she had a bit more, not like importance, but maybe a bit more responsibility than Ricochet. But yeah, I think music. I'm just gonna say, I know she's not going to see this, but if Samantha Irvin's watching this, we have a really good music recording campus here down in Cavan Institute. So if you ever want to come in and do a multi-track or a cover of anything, just hit me up. I'm going to get my Pro Tools license hopefully by the end of the year. So yeah, just Samantha Irvin, hit me up. Let's do some stuff together.
There you go.
Oh, hi, Sean. Yeah, look, Sean's in the chat here.
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah,
we're missing you. We're missing you so much.
You're fired.
You're fired.
Yeah. Speaking of people leaving the building last minute, Sean. Listen, enjoy work tonight. I know you're going to be up the absolute walls, 80 people in for a conference and stuff like that. It's going to be non-stop. So listen, go easy, take your time. Don't do too much damage there around or land stuff on people or anything like that, you know.
Just make it, Sean, just make it Saturday and you'll be cool.
Nothing we'd wish on you at all, like.
No, we like Sean. Sean's all right.
Absolutely, 100%. Big up, Sean. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun, kind of that nostalgia bump, getting back to kind of Lillian Garcia and stuff like that. And I have to say, in the video today, she's absolutely pumped up for it. That's for sure, and pretty excited, I'd say, especially with wrestling on such an up at the moment. I remember seeing Big Daddy and Joint Haystacks. It was wild, absolutely. World of Sport, Warren. World of Sport, and then the football on after. I remember it well. What Kendall Nakasaki, and it used to be on about 1 o'clock on a Saturday. Either 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock for about an hour and a half, and it was like it was real kind of, you're the bad guy, I'm the good guy, you know, real carnival type stuff. And all. I still go back and look at some of it sometimes, and it's fun. You know, obviously sends me videos all the time of the World of Sport Road Warriors and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And all, so it's
fun
to look back at it.
Did you ever watch the revival that they did of it a couple of years ago? I think it used to be 6 o'clock on ITV, and then it kept crashing and stuff, so they put it like 3 o'clock, and the ratings were terrible. But a couple of like Brit Rest people were right on it. Wade Barrett was actually the commentator, I think. Yeah,
that's right. Grado was in there as well. Was Grado the first champion?
I can't remember. I think the last champion I think was Justin Sizem, and he beat Rampage Brown, if my memory serves me right.
Remember Rampage Brown? I seen Rampage Brown over here in a couple of shows. All right.
Yeah. Good guy. Hopefully doing well.
There you go. In straight in. Don't forget the Road Warriors. There you go. In. There's only one Road Warriors. Let's stop that now. And it was Hawks anniversary last week, so I won't have any of that World of Sport Road Warriors. Right. Next up, question for you. Does this affect your view on Kane and The Undertaker? Could it potentially damage their legacy? And does it really influence the voters' choice? So in reality over there, you obviously have a campaign with Trump. You have a campaign with, can't remember, is it Kamala?
Kamala. Yeah, Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. And you have those two over there, and they've all different ideas and ideologies and all this campaign, all that kind of stuff. If you're an Undertaker fan, does that sway your vote to Trump? Or do you think more logically about your future and jobs and all that kind of stuff and the economy? And you don't worry about how the dead man 10 years ago was unbelievable and all this kind of stuff. What's your thinking on this?
I think if you're going to let a man who buried AJ Styles alive during the pandemic and a man who electrocuted Shane McMahon's testicles with a car battery, if that's going to affect your voting choices, you're already beyond saving. I don't know. The thing is, like, obviously we're Irish, so this election, as far as I can see, it's not going to affect us as much as it would someone living in America. And I always try, not to judge people by their political opinions. I'll always say, we can like different things and be friends. I know Kane is a politician and stuff, but the thing about Undertaker and Kane
gets quite a bit of hate online as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But the thing with Undertaker and Kane, and especially Undertaker, like, they have a great legacy of matches and moments and memories, and I don't think them supporting a politician that I don't like is going to really destroy all those great matches. And I can understand why it can for some people. I can understand, but for me, I don't think so. I mean, I can say, it's a shame he's, voting for whoever, but his match with Batista at WrestleMania that time, or his match with AJ Styles, or his match with Kane or CM Punk, I can still look back. Like, if I turn those matches on after the podcast, I'd still really enjoy them.
Yeah. I kind of went onto TikTok the other day. Just it's my guilty pleasure at times, and I was expecting to see a lot of Americans from down south around fire barrels and burning their Kane and Undertaker T-shirts from the 90s and all this kind of stuff and all. You're dead to me and all this kind of stuff and all, and that kind of reaction and all that kind of stuff. I suppose Kane is kind of different because he's obviously been, he's been attacked on his stance on gun laws, and obviously his timing of posts tends to be kind of shit, because he kind of comes out right after fucking shootings, which isn't a good thing to do when people are kind of raw and they have lost people and very upset and all. But Undertaker kind of carries a different kind of credibility, doesn't he? And as you said, one buried AJ Styles, the other one's electrocuted Shano's testicles. And then we forget the other man shaved Vince McMahon bald, and this is the man who's going to be. The one thing I would say to you is it does have kind of far-reaching consequences in terms of markets and currencies and all that kind of stuff, depending on who they put in and stuff like that. And he does like to call himself the leader of the free world and all that kind of stuff. So there you go. But I just thought I'd ask it because obviously it was a big topic this week when he appeared on the podcast and the conversations and all that kind of stuff, So interesting dynamic between the two boys, that's for sure, and sure to generate conversation and debate. Right. Will we have a little bit of OTT?
I think so, yeah. It's the thing I'm looking forward to all day.
The time has come. Right, let's get into this. You can take it away and blow me away with your thoughts, stuff like that, and I'll kind of interlude on what I know and what I don't know.
Yeah.
So start off, 10th anniversary show. I will start by saying absolutely phenomenal from OTT. 10 years going. Little did they know how far they would get. They've seen off a lot of obstacles in the way, including COVID, which was really, really tough. And obviously, an awful lot of talent eggs in the building as well on the speak out stuff and all that kind of stuff. But phenomenal card here they've put together for the 10th anniversary.
Yeah, very phenomenal card. I will say it does mess my brain a little bit to be back in the National Stadium this soon. But it's because Scrapper's always in March and this year's in August. But I'm not complaining. This is a really, really good card. Obviously, I mean, the fact we're getting Finn and JD. I know it's been a while since we did that Scrapper podcast. I'm still in complete disbelief that this is happening. Complete disbelief. And believe it or not, it is going to be the main event, Social League Judgment Day. And they announced, a little fun fact to you, this is going to be the first ever all-Irish main event in the National Stadium.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely crazy.
Did you see the video of the Judgment Day in the clubhouse? and the
Yeah.
packing the cases and changing the watch time and
Yeah.
all this. And they
Yeah.
asked JD, "Where's he going? Why is this case so big?" And he goes, "Because I'm not coming back."
Yeah.
It was so cool and stuff like that.
And the funny thing is, Carlito was actually defeated by Matthew Goldsmith of the Social Elite
Yeah.
at the Christmas party 2 years ago in
Mm.
Belfast. So I think the Social Elite kind of have the Judgment Day's number.
Yeah.
I know we were kind of thinking, like, kind of fantasizing who it could be they were going to be against. Like, if it was going to be a tag, if it's going to be 2 singles matches. I know, like, we fancy booked like Paddy M and Blast and Flats and the freshness and everything, but really, like, when you look at logistics, there's no one but the Social Elite that
There
it
you
could have
go,
been.
yeah.
I mean, you should get on there. You should be in the let me see.
Get Twitter pumping or X or whatever it's called now.
Get in the money match.
I did
three ways.
I did like the preview that the promo that the Social Elite did. Max are talking about how he was trained by one and held gold with the other and all this kind of stuff. A lot of history in this. I'm watching 3 of those boys now close on 20 years.
Yeah.
I watched Jordan's first match in Bray as a Gwilla, and he was incredible for his age. And you know, I talk about Finn Balor Fergal and stuff like that. I mean, the minute I seen him, I knew he was going to be a star. And Maxer is just phenomenal as well. These boys are awesome. This is going to be a great match, isn't it?
I think so. I really hope it's given the time, because I think Social Elite's last match, as you're saying, was against the Freshness, was a little bit disappointing. I really hope with the main event slot they can step up and they can actually properly go. But also because of Jordan, JD. Sorry, I have to get used to not calling him Jordan Devlin.
No, that's all right. That's okay.
If we call a spade, the first Scrapper Mania that was in the National Stadium after COVID, the main event of that was actually Jordan Devlin, Mark Haskins instead of Scotty Davis or Rob Van Dam, but it wasn't recorded. So only the live crowd got to see it, and unfortunately the match was very underwhelming. They were doing good work, but the crowd were just so flat and so tired and so bored. And like there's times they tried to get into it and they didn't. So I really hope Jordan gets a second chance to finally properly say goodbye.
Is this a match where you think it's just going to be a straight up tag match? Or does this I seen Paul Tracy the other day doing a vignette as well for the 10th anniversary. Obviously, there's history there as well on both sides. You know, obviously Paddy Morrow, very connected to this match and stuff like that, you know. And then, of course, we have the rest of the Judgment Day and the clubhouse who were sending the boys off, you know. Could Carlito gate crash this party somehow and add to the night somehow or something like that? Or are you expecting just this to be a straight up match?
I'd be very surprised if anyone else from Judgment Day comes over. But then I'm surprised that anyone from Judgment Day is appeared in the first place. I don't know. No, I think like for this match, such a big show, such a big match, I don't think they can afford to have like stupid interference and stuff like that.
Yeah.
From either party. Maybe Tracy could come out and do something, but like Carlito or Dominic or Liv or something, I don't know.
I'm just thinking, that kind of Social Elite, Lord of the Manor, you know, that kind of like, you know, it kind of lends itself to it.
Yeah, but saying that, I don't think Tracy's been with the Social Elite like valet or manager wise for at least 2 years now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it'd be great, but I'll be very surprised if the Judgment Day get booed initially in Dublin. They'll probably work heel, but then the Social Elite are heel as well. But they're kind of position them as babyface, so it's a bit of an awkward dynamic. But I think the match is going to be great, and I think it would be unbelievable of Joe to pay whatever it was to get Finn and JD over, which I can imagine is a lot considering that, you know, the tickets were a bit expensive, and then have them just put over put over Matthew and Sean. And I know they would do it. Like they were pretty unselfish and they're both great lads, but I don't know. I think for the Social Elite, it's a win-win situation. If they win, they'll come out looking great and they'll get a whole new fan base. And if they lose, they'll come out looking great and get a new fan base. But it has to deliver. But I mean, how could it go wrong, really? It's so unbelievable that we've never had a full Irish main event when you think all the time OTT's been in the stadium. And the fact that this show, aside from maybe a few, is mainly an Irish show, I think really shows that.
Yeah. Do you know what I like about it as well? You made the point there where they're both kind of heelish kind of thing. I think both these teams are going to come out, and you're going to have to, for a minute, get that kind of Hogan rock stare down at Mania. And they're going to have to see the reaction to the crowd. And then they might have to call that out there, what way that goes and stuff, So I'm all for I'm more than capable. But this could be that first minute or two in the ring, especially with Sean, with Maxer. Like, he has so much history with both these boys. You know what I mean? It could be absolutely, even that first minute of the match where they stare down could be electric. Absolutely electric. It's going to be interesting to see what sides they take. I'm hoping you Irish fans back your Irish boys, but they're all Irish boys, aren't they? Your local Irish boys, not these. The import killer has now become the import. What's this about?
Yeah. So are you team Bray or are you Ballsbridge / Kildare?
Yeah. I've always been a huge fan of Max. The two boys could come out with import killer or something like that, or shirts on them or something like that, really to kick it off or something like that, but fabulous history.
Killer
yeah, killer or something, or the killer of import killers or something like that, something really cool or something. There's the shirt, we give them out, and you can have Judgment Bray as well, of course. Whatever way you want to take it. Where are we going next?
I suppose just go in order of how it's laid out. So after that, we'll go to the money match. Yeah, it's not really too much to say about this. It's going to be like Robbie X Speedball. The stadium's going to be divided in two sections. One side's going to be Aigle Blanc, I think you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Other side's Michael Oku. Michael Oku is fantastic. I'm really happy he's back. He's been on a great run in Rev Pro, obviously working with MJF and working with Ospreay. Aigle Blanc, I'm not actually too familiar with his work, and I've kind of avoided him because I want to be surprised, but I've heard amazing things. He's a really good French high flyer. He's working the 10th anniversary. He's going to be in Belfast tomorrow. We get the day after, I should say, against Keane Noonan. And he's actually going to be in Wexford on Monday, I think, or whenever Halloween is. So obviously there is something in him. That means that he's getting booked for all three shows. But, the money match, I always say it should be used for a match that doesn't have like that much build to spruce it up, because the idea that you're getting money. But I don't think this match needs to be money match, because the crowd are going to be hot for this no matter what. But, money matches, they're so much fun. I can tell you, like, everyone is on their feet for it. Like, there's times where, like, a wrestler gets booed. It's not because they're doing anything particularly bad. It's just because, the people who are on the other guy's side are booing. But they're a lot of fun. Hopefully I'll win this time. I have Robbie X for Scrapmania, and Speedball broke my heart. I would say Michael Oku presumably would win this, but there's not really too much else to say about it.
Good shout. Next up, give us Sammy D versus Jay.
Oh boy, it's got a little bit of history, and it's gotten a little bit personal. So as you remember, Jay was part of the draw, and at Scrapmania, there's an 8-man tag, which was the draw, which was Sammy D, Adam Maxted, Charlie Sterling, and Jay against Be Cool and his mystery partners, who were Joe, Justy, and Angel. And there's a stipulation to that Barry added. I think I probably forgot to mention it when we did the podcast, but he said if his team win the draw, have to break up. And Sammy D lost that match because Jay turned on him. So draw broke up. And then at the last show, Jay beat Adam Maxted, who was in the draw. And he got on the mic and said, he's been an arsehole for a long time and he's sorry and he's back now. And then Sammy D came out and said, you took everything from me. You took my Scrapmania main event. You took away my OTT title. But most importantly of all, Jay, you took away my family. You took away my brothers because we lost, because you used the draw to break up. He said, you took my family, so I'm going to take your family. So out come Jay's legit 15-year-old sister. Yeah, and he held his hand and now is sided with her. So he just took his sister. And this match is going to be an I Quit match.
Okay.
Not a singles match, not a whatever match, an I Quit match. So I have a feeling it's going to be very violent. They're going to push the button a little bit. I think it has to be Jay to win. But yeah, Sammy D is. I really liked when he was a despicable piece of shit heel, and I think he kind of lost that little bit in the draw. Maybe like near the end of the Be Cool feud. So I'm really happy. Like it came to a point like a few years ago where Sammy D was genuinely unpleasant to watch because he was so slimy and so despicable, and that's what made me fall in love with him. So the fact that we have that Sammy D back is great.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
absolutely. Should be a cracker
And
of a match.
yeah,
And
it's going
again,
to be
and,
very,
and
very good.
another man with connections throughout the card. So
Yeah,
very interesting, Sammy.
but
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
hope it's good because I quit matches can just be a lot of no,
Yeah,
and then 3 minutes and then that again until it ends. So I really hope that they push the button because this has to be violent, this has to be uncomfortable, this has to be personal, it has to get under your skin.
yeah,
But I think it's going to be Jay. But then I think it would really like make Sammy even more of a despicable piece of shit if somehow he won. Did something with Jay's sister. He's like, "Oh, I'll hit your sister with the chair or something if you don't say I quit." And then Jay says I quit to save his
mm,
sister, and then he does it anyway or something like that. I don't know, but that's probably outside of I think the women's match, the women's title match, and the Socially Judgment Day. This is probably my most anticipated match tonight.
yeah. Interesting. Right, next up, Charlie Sterling, Zarkov, Santos, Adam Maxted, and of course, one Grado.
Yeah. So you'll remember Santos won the GN title
That's
at
right.
Scrapmania. He defended it successfully against Darragh Lynch at the last show. And unfortunately for Darragh Lynch, Ilya Zarkov, who you'll remember he was a gangster who like shot one member of BDE
Yeah.
to get the belt. He thinks that Darragh Lynch cost him the title. So he has his mammy held hostage. And he says, "You better win the GN title for me. And if you don't, I'll shoot her."
Okay.
So Darragh Lynch didn't win it. Mammy's still alive as far as I know. But after the match, Ty Claude, who's like the unofficial official sidekick of Joe Cabray, said that the GN title was now retired. And instead, Santos will be able to compete in a gauntlet match for a brand new title called the European title. And in that match is also Maxted, Zarkov, Charlie Sterling, and Grado. I think the GN title for me, it kind of ran its course. There's not enough depth or enough people in the women's division, and even then, like all the matches were just in the last while. It was just men versus men. Maybe occasionally like a 6-man tag with men, and maybe there's like one girl in the other team or something like that. But it rendered it pointless. But having Santos in this makes me think they're just going to put the belt on him. And I'm like, well, maybe just, don't retire the belt at all. I don't know. I think it's going to be fun. Seeing Grado is fucking amazing. I'm so happy we're getting Grado again.
Yeah, it's good seeing him back on Irish shores. Yeah, absolutely.
I predict like he's going to be the first one out against Zarkov or someone or Charlie Sterling, and he's going to ruin everything. He's going to get pinned right away or something like that.
The question on this match is, they've blown all this money potentially on the Judgment Day coming in, but have they paid the money yet to Madonna so he can use the song Grado? That's the question for me.
You think Cabrera's paying Madonna
to use that song? He's not the same about that song.
No, I don't know. Well, he came out to it at the Rumble. As far as I know, no expenses were bared on the on that. But no, I'm seeing Grado back because I remember hearing he's got a new title. He's defending in a gauntlet match, and I saw Sterling and Zarkov, and I'm like, oh, well, they're around all the time. And then I saw Maxted, and he's like, yeah. And then I saw Grado. I'm like, what? Grado, really? So getting to sing Like a Prayer, I regret to inform you, I've only seen Grado live twice, and one of them was in AEW, so he didn't come out to Like a Prayer. So I'm very much looking forward to singing along.
Yeah, he did a show. He did a show in the Tivoli, I think.
That's right. Yeah,
in the show in the Tivoli. It was the same night that Melina was there, I think, and Chris Hero. If I'm right. Yeah, I think if my memory serves me right, and he's just a top lad. Came into the shop a couple of times as well, and the usual walks in, and absolutely, he's fun to talk to, but he's a bit of a ripper, really, that kind of way. Like he rips the piss a lot, like that. But he's a great guy. He's a great guy. I have a lot.
Legend, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We won't hit the women's one yet. Let's go to Scotty versus Limo.
So Scotty Davis has taken up a new team with Con Kelly from Clonus, not overly far from where I am, and a guy called Luke Frail, and they're called the Irish Wolfhounds. And Scotty was at that show. I should say the Irish Wolfhounds wrestled the team of Boots Murphy and Terry Thatcher. And he was at that show only to accompany them. But earlier on in the night, Limo, of course, from Lars and the Flats, was in a three-way match with Omari and Kuro, which he won with the crossface. And hear this, he's calling it the North Face. Isn't that just, that's excellent. But he came out, Scotty Davis came out after that match and told the fans, Limo actually went to Joe and asked for the two best guys, which is how the match came. But in reality, they were the two best guys that Joe could scrape off a Ryanair flight. And he doesn't think that Limo's as good as he says. He thinks he's like a joke. You know, he comes out vaping. He's a doctor of drugonomics. He comes out with the bag and the yup and the lads and the flats. And he feels like he's really the future and the prospect that people are saying that he is. And then Limo's like, you know, you talk about all your accomplishments, all that's in the past. And thing is, like, I'm moving up in the ranks. Like, Limo's been stadium a couple of times, teamed with the Flats, beat Limo and beat Kuro and Amari. Despite not winning, has faced Damien Corbin and Big Damo, who's now the world champion, and they've gone neck and neck. So he's doing great, and he feels that Scotty is actually jealous of him because the rise he is on, Scotty thinks he's on that. He's like, Limo's like, I'm here, and you're like, I'm going up, and you've stayed in the same spot the whole time. So I think Limo, you know, he hangs around Lads and Flats a lot, so you can forget that he's serious. But he's really, really promising. And again, two young Irish guys in the stadium. Not much more. I think it's going to be great. But
how will he shape up the technical side of Scotty's work? So Scotty's such a technical wrestler as well.
Yeah, I don't think he'll find a way to get the North Face, which I still can't believe that's what it's called. He'll find a way to get that in, but I don't think he'll go like neck and neck. Physically, maybe, but in terms of like wrestling, no. But I think he'll find a way. But I don't think either of them can really afford to lose if they really want to get to the stage that they're saying they're at. But I'm slightly leaning a little bit more towards Scotty Davis. But I could see it going either way, honestly.
Yeah, and it's nice when you get matches like that on the card as well that aren't so not obvious, but if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and then we rounded out obviously with the women's one, OTT Women's Championship on the line. Session Mont Martina versus Raven Creed. Kind of fitting these two just out from Halloween. Raven, I think, is phenomenal. Great to see her back as well. What's your thoughts on this one?
Raven was actually the women's champion by the time I was getting into OTT. So a lot of time for I think she hasn't been in OTT for a long time. I think the last time she was over was like one of the first shows after a couple of shows after COVID in 2021. They were in Belfast, and she faced Emerson Jane, who was women's champion at the time, in a Christmas hardcore match. Absolutely brilliant, but like she never appeared after that. She'd been in RCW and Hard Knocks. But thing that Martina, like, I love her. She's great, but her women's title run has been a little bit flat. Because as we were saying about the general title earlier, there's not enough talent or depth in the division. A lot of her opponents have to be imports that there's no chance in hell of her beating. So Raven, she beat Corey Zero, Martina did, at the show. And then Raven Creed came up on the screen and said, like, there's no one left for Martina to challenge. And she's come back to bring up the standard. And then the promo goes off, and somebody in a hoodie and a face mask goes in the ring, beats the shit out of Martina, and powerbombs it through a table that, believe it or not, actually broke the first time.
There we go.
Unbelievable. I popped for that more than her coming out, but it turned out to be Raven Creed. So this is happening, and Martina's like, I've dedicated 10 years of my life to OTT. If I can't beat you, like, what's the point of me even being here? Yeah, but then the thing is, like, if Raven wins, I don't know. Like, you would think Raven wins is going to be a fresh new start for the title. Martina might still be around. Raven's one more, but they still don't have the depth or the numbers, I think, to make it interesting or to make it like worthwhile. But these two are really great. I don't actually know if they've had. I know they wrestled RCW in Cork, but I don't think they've ever had a singles match against each other in OTT.
Yeah, I think did they mention that I think on the promo video where they said they hadn't faced each other one-on-one or something like that? Or
I don't think so. They've probably been in like tag matches against each other or something, but actual just Martina and just Raven, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I could really see it going either way. Whatever it is, though, whether Raven wins or loses, I would like to think she stays around because she's really, really good, man. I really like her a lot.
I think when you look at it there on the screen, it's two girls who have done a phenomenal job in developing their characters. Like when you listen to these two girls, they truly believe that they're the Session Mott and Raven Creed, and it's really, really cool that way. And two kind of girls who can take a match right into deep waters and can go physical, can go hardcore, can go wherever this needs to go to sort this out. And two phenomenal wrestlers as well. So yeah, that's one I really seen on the card, and I was thinking that's one I'd really look forward to.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That'd make you buy your ticket.
Absolutely. Right, quick rundown then on Aftermath. 2.
I don't know. I got the notification about the poster.
Yeah.
And I didn't see the picture because it's just the tweet. And I clicked on the picture and I stared at my phone speechless for like 5 minutes. I didn't know what to think. I was so confused. It's such they keep calling it Aftermath 2 weird and wacky. Like it really is. Like what kind of poster is that? Rene Dupree, Suicide, Eugene, Damien Corbin, Michael Oku. I'll say this: when you get out weirded, when the Sam is on a poster and he's not the weirdest person, you're in trouble.
Yeah,
it's a fun card. The thing is, though, someone was saying I like them all individually. Like I like Eugene, I like Suicide, I like Rene Dupree, but I don't know if it's going to sell. But I think it would. I know Rene Dupree said that this tour of Europe that he's doing this year is going to be his last. And he was actually meant to come over for the anniversary weekend, I think 2 years ago, but something happened. I think he had travel issues or got double booked or injured. I don't know. But I think it's a makeup. I would tell you about Eugene. I know he wrestled in Ireland a little bit in like the early 2000s, so maybe the connection is there. For Suicide, this isn't going to happen, but there's actually a thing on OTT's channel now called the OTT Insider. It's the guys who run I think it's called the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show. You've probably seen a clip or two of them on TikTok. But they do like an inside news thing on OTT. And they predicted that Suicide is not actually Suicide, but the Suicide Machine. Paddy Morrow.
Oh, interesting.
And that's just them, like, because they're fans at the end of the day. So a lot of it is news. The rest is just like fancy booking.
Yeah.
I think Suicide, the real Suicide, I think he's being played by, is it Caleb Conley now, I think? He used to be in TNA called Caleb with a K.
Yeah.
I think it's him now. I think he'd be pretty pissed if he was advertised for a show. and then it wasn't him. But no, the weirdest fucking lineup imaginable. It's definitely weird and wacky. I'm just gonna try my best to get through the card.
The French tickler versus the King of the North. Good Lord. That's gonna be a smash up, isn't it?
Yeah, I have a feeling Damien Corbin is not going to be in the mood for any of Rene Dupree's bollocks.
Yeah.
But I really want to see
a little story. He was over a while ago for a show a couple of years back. Rene, he dropped into the shop with Joe. This is going back a bit now, and they had a show in Belfast, I think. Because they know I minded dogs, because we do dog minding here. They asked me had I got a little white dog that they could borrow.
for the
show.
Oh my God.
And I said to them, I love to oblige, but I'm minding other people's dogs. I can't just give their dog away to you to bring to Belfast to a show. But it was fun. We were just chatting. We were having coffees in the shop. We were just chatting. We got chatting about NXT and loads of stuff. Rene's a good dude. He's a good dude and stuff like that. But he's so chilled and laid back. It's crazy, like, you know.
Can you imagine being a fan of OTT or being a fan of Rene Dupree and they're one of the people that lend you the dog? Then all of a
Yeah.
sudden they see it on OTT on demand. They're like
Absolutely.
they weren't there. They weren't here yesterday. I wonder why.
Yeah. Or the dog goes missing, or something happens, or the crowd reaction, and the dog has a massive heart attack in the ring or something. And they go, "What?" You know what I mean?
Jesus Christ. I don't know. Adam Maxted versus Suicide. I don't know. I feel clueless. I don't know what to say about Adam Maxted versus Suicide. It's going to be about as good as a match between Adam Maxted and Suicide, which I'd imagine is going to be grand enough.
Yeah.
I assume Suicide might win, maybe.
Yeah.
And then, you may think the card might get a bit more structured. We have Charles Crowley versus Eugene.
Yeah. It's moving, isn't it? Moving.
I know Eugene wrestled in Ireland a little bit in the 2000s. I actually found a clip of him wrestling Rene Dupree in the Neptune Stadium in Cork.
Yeah, he was over here for Joe as well with AWR one time.
Yeah, so the connections were probably there, but I'll be honest, he's not someone that I would scramble to get a booking for or get a thing for. With Charles Crowley, I think people forget. I actually watched a video and I heard some interviews about Eugene. The Eugene character was actually never intended to be like a wrestler with special needs. It was meant to be like an idiot, like a childlike idiot who couldn't like tie his shoes or count or something. But then when he got in the ring, because he grew up watching wrestling, he'd be able to do like Stone Cold Stunners and RKOs and stuff. And when he combined that with his actual wrestling ability, which was really good, Nick Dinsmore was back in the day was fantastic.
Yeah,
it was great. So I think this match is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
I think Eugene. And I think he's gonna. I can't remember what moves Charles Crowley does because I haven't seen him win a match in OTT. But I imagine he's gonna, because Eugene has a knack for stealing, for doing everyone else's moves. So I have a feeling he's gonna do a couple of people's moves that don't belong to him, maybe even Charles Crowley's move. And I think Eugene's gonna win. I don't know. I'm so happy with Sammy D or Jay versus Mike Loca because I can actually talk about it without going insane.
Yeah.
The fact that it's Sammy D or Jay makes me assume it's going to be whoever wins the I Quit, which I think is going to be Jay. And I think Jay versus Mike Loca is a better match than Sammy D Mike Loca.
Okay.
I think Jay would probably win, especially you can't have him like beat Sammy D in I Quit match and lose the next night to Michael Oku. So I think Jay, and then Rene Dupree, Damien Corbin. I think Rene is going to bollocks around and Corbin's just going to kill him. He's going to be miserable. He's going to be angry. He's not going to be in the mood for any French tickling or anything. I think Rene Dupree might outsmart Corbin. But I can totally understand Rene Dupree, his last tour, he wants to put over young talent and stuff. But then Corbin's kind of on a roll. I think people are even saying he could challenge Damo for the belt in the future, which I don't know if I want because he's faced Damo a couple of times in title matches and not title matches and contendership matches, and he's lost all of them, cleans and whistles. So I'm not sure what the route is, but I assume Corbin will win. And then Angle Blank. I'm never going to get his name right. God help when we do the review and I have to talk about him next week. Versus Cian Noonan. Cian Noonan is fantastic. He actually wrestled on the last show against Callum Black and he lost. And the thing with Cian Noonan is he's very, very good, but he is not winning any matches at all. And he's always really respectful and shakes hands with everyone after. And the commentator, Jamie Coleman's like, you shouldn't shake his hand. You should slap him in the face because you're being too nice. You're losing matches. You're never going to be anywhere. And he tried to do it with Callum Black and Callum Black didn't shake his hand. And then he said, I'm done with shaking hands. So I have a feeling we're going to get a slightly more aggressive, maybe even heelish Cian Noonan. Maybe he wins, and cheats or does something a little underhanded, like maybe a roll up with the tights or something like that.
Handful of trunks, yeah.
Or he loses and either doesn't shake hands or shake hands and then pulls back and then clothesline or kicking the balls or something. But I think Angle Blank because he's phenomenal. I think we're going to be impressed. And then speaking of Michael Oku, Amira Blair versus either Martina or Raven Creed. Again, it's either Martina or Raven Creed. So whoever wins that, and if it's like Martina Raven Creed, I assume it's going to be for the title. Because it doesn't make sense to have two people in a title match and then go, the winner advances to a mid-card non-title match in Belfast against Amira the day after. Like, I don't see Amira winning the belt. But I think it will be Raven Creed. I think she'll beat Amira because Martina has actually wrestled Amira in OTT. Quick little match which Martina won. So I don't know if I have too much desire to see them wrestle. Maybe not that soon again, but yeah, I think it's going to be Raven Creed versus Amira, and I think Raven Creed will win fairly easily. But Amira Blair is really good, so hopefully get to keep her around in OTT for a couple more shows, regardless of the result.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, so that rounds it up. Good stuff. I like that, Sean. And no doubt we'll have you back on if you're available next week, and we'll go through what happened, get the results, and give me your thoughts on the show and stuff like that. And all. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I'm sorry I wasn't prepared for Belfast, but how do you look at that card and try to explain to someone with a straight face? Eugene Suicide and Renee Dupree. No, I think both shows can be great, and it's amazing to think that, you know, it's 10 years of OTT and 10 years of Irish wrestling being on such a major stage, and I'm very proud to even be a fan of it for even half the time. I only started in 2019. The 50th year anniversary was October that year. So the fact that it's still live and kicking, the fact that it's sold out in the National Stadium, and the fact that we're even able to get people like Finn and JD and even more in the future is unbelievable. Yeah, also, I think the next time we're going to be in the National Stadium is for the local Rumble on the 1st of February. And with a bigger budget, literally bigger surprises. So we could get someone like a Finn or a JD in a Rumble. So a lot to look forward to in OTT. The future is really looking bright here. And I cannot, and roll on Saturday and well, probably more like Monday or Tuesday, because I'm not actually going to Belfast. I'll be watching it on demand. So roll on Saturday, and then whenever Belfast is up, and if we get a bus in time, which I presume we will, we might even pay you a visit.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Right, next up, let's have a quick chat about Raw. Lots of stuff going on Raw last night. Starting with right out of the blocks, we had Lillian Garcia coming out as the announcer. Sammy exited the building. But we had Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed. I really liked this segment. The reason I liked it is we got that kind of real Seth Rollins again. None of this flappy, jokery type of crap. This is a man who was laser focused. This is Shield. This is authority kind of Seth Rollins that we're getting here now. And I did say it a few weeks ago on the podcast. I'd love to get a Seth Rollins who's just laser focused on his work and sheds all the fucking silly clothing and all the other crap and all that, and just comes out. And boy, oh boy, did we get it last night. What was your thoughts on that segment?
I think it's really good. I actually don't mind funny Seth. I think there's times where it can be annoying and a little too much, and it's a bit distracting when he's like trying to be serious and he's also wearing, like, as someone said, like his wife's wardrobe. So I think the fact that he's serious for now anyway is really good. And Bronson Reed, I think him doing the whatever amount of tsunamis off the top rope onto Seth that originally injured him has really like reinvented him, because he just seemed like a pretty boring, generic big guy who can do a pretty cool finisher, not much else. But
this is a step up for him, isn't it? This is kind of legitimizing him a little bit. You seen him last night, even when he was up on the rail and your man jumps on top of his shoulders and he just kind of, you know, he just attitudes and just him down onto people and stuff like that and all. And then obviously he missed the spot onto the table. But when he hit the table absolutely pancaked. There was no messing around and all, you know. But
sorry, my camera just fell off.
You take your time there as you make me seasick.
Got it. Yeah, sorry, sorry, Damon, watching.
No, you're grand. But that was a great segment to kick open Raw and stuff like that. I really enjoyed it. Two boys absolutely going hell for leather at it. It was awesome, and just bodies going everywhere. It was really, really cool. Next up, the New Day beating the Orders. Pain. Obviously, R-Truth getting involved and then getting beat down for his efforts. I don't know. Is it credible the New Day's beating the order of the New Day beating the Orders of Pain? I don't know.
Sadly, because I think the Final Testament have just been so underwhelming. They're about as exciting as Pain to watch and about as scary as a day off work.
I kind of look at Ellering at the moment and I think you were the manager of the Road Warriors. You were the manager of the Legion of Doom. Can we get this together here and get this up to some sort of a level here?
And initially he stepped away because I think the travel was too much. But that was when they were good. And now they're shite and he's staying around with them the whole time. So, yeah, I mean, the ship long sailed. I think it really hit home because I watched SmackDown when it was in France. The best crowd of the year, the nicest, easiest crowd of the year. You could have gone out and smiled, or you could have done like the Andy Kaufman thing and just sitting at a desk and eating ice cream, and they would have been all over you. And they were in some tag match. I think it might have been with Newcastle Republic. Silence. No boos, no cheers, not even like you suck chants, just nothing.
Get them out of here. We've had enough of them.
It's not even like boo, we hate you. It's just like I don't care to see them. And sadly, I don't think there's anything that they can do for now anyway that would make me want to see them. And it's a shame because I like everyone in there. The Authors of Pain were a great team. Karrion Kross can be good. But I don't know. I was going to say, well, with Triple H, everything's better, but like he's still really uninteresting, and I don't have any desire to see him. For
a group they've put together, it's very sanitized, isn't it? It's supposed to be this dark kind of thing, and it's kind of like I don't know. It's a hard. I suppose they have to be careful with it as well because it might impinge on the Wyatts or something like that, or you know what I mean. It's kind of like that way because they're not dissimilar really. If you drag it down and you break it down and stuff like that. So, I don't know.
Sadly, you would think having Paul Ellering in there would kind of boost them a little bit or give them a little bit of something to write home about. It doesn't apart from the monochrome entrance, the black and white thing on the screen and the pretty spooky entrance thing. What is there to them? Like, why should anyone care about them, invest about them, want to see them, be interested in seeing them?
Absolutely. Liv Morgan and Raquel dropping the DQ to Damage Control. If Liv Morgan couldn't go up in more in my estimation, I seen a picture of her today. She took delivery of a Tesla Cybertruck. And I thought that's really cool. And we know that Liv Morgan is quite a petite girl. The Cybertruck looked gigantic beside her. Gigantic. But that was kind of cool. What'd you make of this?
Liv Morgan and I don't know. I think I lost interest in Damage Control a long time ago. I was never crazy about Raquel Rodriguez. I thought her return at Bad Blood was very poorly done. I just don't really see her as a threat. Absolutely not on the same level as Rhea Ripley back when she was in Judgment Day. It was fair. I
often find when you make a mistake like that at Bad Blood or it goes wrong, that maybe you need to just go away for a little bit and let people forget about it and then come back again, maybe, or something. I don't know because it's
100%.
Yeah. I don't know what to say more on it. The Creed brothers with American Made versus Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee with Zelina Vega. What did you make of this?
The only thing I remember about this was Zelina Vega throwing a shoe at Chad Gable. I like the LW. I love Rey Mysterio, obviously, and everyone in the LW is very good individually, but they're just there. I wouldn't say they're just there to an extent like the Final Testament. But like they're not really doing too much with them, are they? I mean, I think Ray is kind of hinting at excuse me. I mean, getting motion sickness from my camera now, getting sick from hear me burping to the mic. I think they kind of hinted at Ray feuding with Dominic again, but he's beaten him already. So I don't know what they're doing. I feel without the White Six, and I know they came back, but without the White Six, I haven't found it overly easy to get reinvested in American Made.
I kind of find because of the shorter Raw, they're trying to crowbar a lot more
Yeah,
into that shorter time, but it's kind of spoiling it a bit because it's kind of like it's kind of going back again where tag team wrestling is kind of a little bit crappy and unimportant again or something like
yeah.
that. And
No,
it's not the focus. It's just, listen, we got to get these 6 out there onto the screen or whatever it is, or 8 or whatever was involved in this. And let's put them all out there. It doesn't matter how it goes. It's a number one
yeah.
contenders match. Boom. You know?
No, that's exactly it. And I always hated 3-hour Raw. Can you imagine going to your friend's house and say, "Hey man, do you want to watch an episode of the show with me? You might like it." Yeah, cool. And it's 3 hours long. You laugh in his face. But I think Triple H really perfected the 3 hours. And the fact that there's only two, the pacing's off. He's trying to cram so much into the 2 hours, so it doesn't feel like it's losing anything, just that it's shorter. But it's not working, and it shows. And I know he will get used to it. Like it'll come along. But as far as I know, by the time you get to Netflix, it's going to be 3 again. And if you're really going to make a show 3 hours long, and not a pay-per-view, a TV show, if you're really going to make it 3 hours long, you have to make it good. And I feel he did. There's times when it wasn't great, but compared to like Vince Raw, like in 2020, 2021, before he left, it was night and day. But yeah, 2 hour Raws, they're a bit easier to sit through, but in terms of the pacing and structure and everything, it's a little all over the place for me at the minute.
It's that whole middle section of it just seems a bit fuckery, doesn't it? It's just like it's kind of, it's like someone's up in the gorilla position with a stopwatch on, going, "Fucking hurry up, quick! We got to get all this in." You know what I mean? Instead of going, "Here's the pacing of the show, and that's the way it goes," and that kind of thing.
No,
but
absolutely.
I just find there's a lot of these kind of gimmicky 6-mans or multiple tag teams or 8-mans or whatever it is, and same on the women's side as well, because they're trying to kind of crowbar 3 into 2 in terms of the volume of talent and the way the matches come together now. And I'm just for me, I even look at the layout of that middle section there and I'm going, I have literally no interest in a lot of that, to be honest.
No.
And I don't want it to go back to where I liked the opening segment and I liked the last segment. I liked it all originally when it was 3 hours. I mean, our reaction was like, can't believe they're going off to 3 hours again when it's really, really good. Kind of thing. Big up Keith for coming in as well. It is getting a little bit drawn out now, I do have to say. Yeah, so I think we will see something at Survivor Series, that's for sure. And then we round out the match, or round out the show. 28 days as IC champion. What did you make of this? This was just crazy.
Yeah, I don't see the point in putting it on Jay if we're just going to give it to him, give it back to Braun after not even a month.
Well, you know what it was? It's interesting to see, like, we all spoke about how Gunther brought credibility back to this belt. And I thought if they were going to let Jay go on a run with it, then maybe that would be the opportunity to propel him into the world stage when he drops the belt eventually. But 28 days is quite short. But now they've given him a reason to join the bloodline, or sorry, to join Roman and Jimmy, because now this is the way the attack went and stuff like that. I'll tell you one thing, I didn't realize how big Braun Breaker was until he squared up to Jacob Fatu. And I don't regard Jacob. I don't know, but Jacob Fatu was not a small dude, but he was made look fierce small last night by Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker's a monster.
6'2", 285, I think, is Jacob Fatu.
Oh, yeah, and listen, Braun made him look like a lightweight when they put that stare down.
Yeah.
But I tell you, if they go that route with it, I'm pretty excited for it. Braun versus Jacob will be pretty cool, but I think they'll get sucked back into Survivor Series coming up and all. It'll be Bloodline versus whatever they call the other bloodline and all that kind of thing and stuff like that. But,
there's too many bloodlines now. I can't keep up.
But this was definitely the shock of the night. I don't think people were expecting this, were they?
No, I don't think so. I think they probably would have expected Braun maybe won it at some stage, but 28 days, absolutely not. Yeah. But the fact that I think what people don't like about it is the fact that Braun won, but also he didn't even win clean. There was so much bloodline bollocks on the outside with Jacob Fatu and then Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. So I love the way Jay got out of the way and Solo took the hit on the outside and all. That was pretty cool. Yeah,
the timing of it and stuff like that and all. Yeah, no, it'll be interesting. I suppose overall it kind of makes sense to put the Usos back together, doesn't it? Because I don't believe a part adds up to the sum of the parts, if you like. I think when the two boys are together, I think it's way more special and stuff like that. And obviously the follow on from SmackDown as well. We'll have a quick chat about that. We're not going to dwell on it too long, but obviously what came out of it obviously was Roman getting laid out by the bloodline, which was absolutely huge. And this whole trying to convince Jay to come around to their thinking and all that kind of stuff, you know. And of course, we got the Motor City Machine Guns, which was absolutely phenomenal. You know, like I was so excited to see those boys go in there, and they were awesome as well. What was your quick thinking on SmackDown? Because we don't want to dwell on it too long.
Yeah, no, it was good. I'm so happy to see the Machine Guns, but I hope the success and everything and their charm translates to WWE. They came out to a shit Def Rebel team with little to no reaction, but they won the crowd over. And man, they look so good. I think tag team wrestling as a whole never would have gotten as big as it was if it wasn't for either Chris or Alex of the Machine Guns. It was a good show. One thing I saw people notice is that they don't think Roman Reigns cares about Jimmy, because Jimmy got knocked down, or it might have been Jay. I can't remember. I still get confused. Jimmy got knocked down, and so did the what was it called? You know, the necklace that he used to wear, the red one.
Yeah.
Whatever that, I can't remember the name of it. Someone could drop it in the chat. That'd be great. But that went down with Jimmy, and he picked that up first before even like thinking of saving Jimmy. So people are like, he hasn't changed at all.
The Ula Fala.
Yeah, the Ula Fala. That's right.
Ula Fala. There you go.
He picked that up off the ground before he even thought of attending to his cousin. So people are saying that could just be him kind of, you know, pissed at Solo saying he's a tribal chief. They're saying like he actually doesn't give a shit about Jimmy or Jay. He just wants to be the tribal chief. But I don't know. I think Jimmy is having a pretty hard time trying to convince Jay to come around. And if Jimmy can't do it, there's no way Roman's going to be able to do it.
Yeah, but the thing about what transpired last night on Raw now makes that decision way more easier, because now these boys are after costing him his title, and it's a very clever way of putting that dynamic way in there. Like you would expect now. I think SmackDown's going to be electric on Friday night now, because I think Jay could be there, and I think the boys will kind of like. I have a funny feeling they're going to reverse it this week on SmackDown, where the two boys will be hanging out. They won't be chasing Jay down, and Jay might find his way to them. So it's kind of that kind of, you know, that real kind of Shakespeare, if you like, back and forth. You know what I mean? Where he's
also I was thinking about this. What's up with The Rock? Remember that bad blood?
I don't know. I have no idea. We spoke about it last week, and obviously Meltzer tried to put it out there, like a lot of the dirt sheets did this week with Sammy as well, trying to hang her out to dry because she was leaving, and then she put them straight and all, saying this was agreed months ago, and this was the timing of it, and all this kind of thing. So we shall see. But with the Rocky just shut down Meltzer, saying this is bullshit, basically, you know, that he wasn't going to be scheduled for Mania. You know, you're not coming out of bad blood, and you're certainly not going to be turning around and releasing to people if you're not going to be at Mania a week before the Mania tickets go on sale. That just doesn't happen. And anyone who thought that was the case is absolutely off their mallet, that's for sure.
I agree.
Yeah, I think with Braun, Keith was in there talking about Braun and stuff like that. I hope so, because I was kind of disappointed when he lost it. You know, that kind of way, because I was expecting that this would run for a while. But obviously they were laying down the storyline of, you know, how they're going to get Jay back in there in some sort of a parity in the bloodline with Roman and Jimmy, if you like. And obviously it was going to be difficult because the way it was all pulled apart was quite aggressive, and he was sold down the river. But now he's probably going to present himself as being the guy, well, I've lost it all now, so the only thing I have left is family. You know, that kind of thing. That's it. It'll touch on the emotions, I will imagine, you know. So I'm looking forward to Friday. Friday should be interesting. Right. Our friend, Vince Russo.
Yeah.
Don't know if you've seen this the other day. Even if they offered me, bro, even if they offered me a Hall of Fame, even if they offered it to me, I would turn it down.
Let me tell you something, bro. Even if they offered me the Hall of Fame, that's how you should have read it. Yeah, I mean, It's a complicated case, isn't it? Bro. Hey, Poker Gambit, bro. Even if they offered me the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I'll stop doing that. I'm having too much fun. I don't know with Russo. I mean, he certainly left a mark on the industry, but is it a good one?
Well, considering who they put in there, there's probably a seat there for him. I'm just not convinced he'd turn it down if they came knocking.
Yeah, because he says that, but then it's such a big, grand thing.
Yeah.
But imagine what his speech would be like.
There'd be a lot of bros.
Yeah, and, bro, the Hall of Fame, bro. I should have been the first ever induction, bro. I took down WCW, bro. Judy Bagwell on a pole, bro. Yeah. He should do it. He should, if he ever gets inducted, he should do it while he should read a speech while on top of a pole.
Not only that, you know what he should do? He should actually come out on the Hall of Fame with the hockey gear on him and the world heavyweight belt.
Oh my
God. Really, can you imagine the heat?
And
imagine the heat.
And people say David Arquette was the worst WCW world champion. Not even close. Yeah. He was like Bruno Sammartino compared to Shitstain.
Yeah. And we're only bringing you in if Hogan inducts you.
Oh, yeah, that might be the
imagine.
That might be the nail. That might be the nail of the coffin.
Oh, that would be quality. Imagine, yeah. But I seen it the other day, and I was going, "This guy would be all over that." Bro, me and Vince used the shit out of
it. Oh my god,
Ted! How dare you? How dare you, Ted? Make decisions. Just to let people know, this podcast is not responsible for the views of anyone in the chat.
No.
Just to let you know,
our views and our views only.
Jim Cornette would have to induct him. Can you imagine he'd wipe him out with a tennis racket? Right, quick rundown on Bound for Glory.
Really good card, actually, isn't it? Really, really good card.
Yeah. Very interested in that top match, that's for sure, as well, with Frankie as well as guest referee. Interesting.
Oh, I didn't even see. I didn't even notice that. I didn't see him in the background. I will say about TNA, I haven't really gotten back into them. But I did decide to watch Slammiversary, and this year's Slammiversary, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I said, like, I should probably, consider watching it. And I didn't really. I watched not Dynamite, Impact the week after. I think I'm going to check this show out because, like, this match, it looks like a really good card. Josh Alexander and Steve Macklin's really interesting. Obviously, my boy, the often imitate, never duplicate, Mr. Monday Night, the whole effing show, PCO, against Matt Cardona in a Monsters Bowl, which it's so silly. I love it. But the thing with PCO matches, he's like 56-year-old Frankenstein, Jeff Hardy. He takes the worst bumps you've ever seen a 56-year-old wrestler take or any wrestler take. Like they're nothing. And I think against Matt Cardona, the Deathmatch King, he's really going to push the button. But PCO is so much fun to watch.
Beast are fired back. I think that comes back just by default at times.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. God, I remember that. But then wasn't that a thing? Like the people who got fired actually had to have a match.
Yes.
Or something like that. So they weren't actually fired. I used to watch them. And I used to think I think that happened Grado once. And I thought when he got the fired slip, he was done. But no, you have to have a match. And then if you win the match, it's just never mentioned again. No, that's going to be ridiculous. Not a TLC match, but a Full Metal Mayhem match. I love all the like Monsters Bowl.
That's right. Originally they were legit for it.
Yeah. God, back in utter woke nonsense now. You have to fight for your job. Full Metal Mayhem, the System, ABC, and the Hardys. I don't know. I would presume the System maybe, but I could see it going. The only ones I don't see winning are ABC because they had the belts not that long ago. I would say I'd say it'd either be the Hardy Boys or the System. Probably the match I'm most looking forward to: Mike Bailey versus El Hijo del Vikingo. I think that match is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, that was one that stuck out for me big time, actually. Yeah.
And then the Knockouts World Tag Team Champions Spitfire against Rosemary and Wendy Chu. I'd say Spitfire. I don't see. Well, actually, no. Rosemary and Wendy Chu are dominant. And I know they're on NXT right now, but I don't know if they take the knockout titles and bring them on NXT, because then that would mean we'd have more like NXT people on Impact. I see a lot of
I'm looking at the graphic there, and I'm thinking it belongs on Aftermath too.
yeah, weird and wacky. Yeah, you could certainly put Rosemary in there. I would say I see a lot of TNA NXT crossover, but not a lot of. I mean, I see a lot of people like from TNA on NXT, but I don't see it the other way. So if Rosemary and Wendy Chu did win, they would probably have to be on NXT a good bit, and they probably have to bring a couple people from NXT over, which I don't know if they'll do. Enjoy Mike Bailey while he can, because he's going to have no knees in about 5. I've seen Mike Bailey do terrible things to his feet. How he hasn't like broken toes or anything like Ricky Steamboat used to do is immense. But there's that. There's Jordan Grace against Masha Slamovich. I actually really, really like Masha Slamovich. I think she's fantastic. Yeah. She's so versatile. Like, she can do any style, really. I really liked her Bloodsport for Mania weekend against Shayna Baszler. But Jordan Grace is really, really good. So I don't know. I would say Jordan Grace would retain. Then Moose and Mike Santana. I think they could give that to Mike Santana. I think Moose is kind of on his way out. I think either he's on his way out, or I think he said at the end of the year he'd probably be retiring, or when his contract would expire. So I'd say Mike Santana, because he's on a bit of a streak now anyway. And then Joe Hendry is over, but would they over enough to put the belt on him? I don't know.
Well, there was shouts on the last big show that he should have got the belt, wasn't there?
Yeah, on Slammiversary.
Real crest of arrive, yeah.
He was on the, I think it was a 4 or 5. It was an elimination 4-way or 5-way, but people are saying he should have won it there. But then there's going to be a point with Joe Hendry where he's so over, they don't give him the belt when he should, and by the time they actually do it, like, he's cooled off considerably.
Yeah, they'll have missed the opportunity. Yeah.
And he's not at that stage yet, but I feel there's not too many more. But then Nick Nemeth is on such a roll right now.
Yes,
so
true.
I presume it'd be Nemeth, but I could see Joe Hendry.
Yeah, it's a good spot for him to be in as well. It's a good spot because he has worked hard for it as well, so it's good. What about our 2 Hall of Famers? Obviously, Bob Ryder going in there, journalist who sadly passed away, but known for really Mr. TNA and stuff like that. He was the guy who originally approached Jeff and Jerry Jarrett about forming TNA, originally down in Nashville and all that kind of stuff. So one of their longest serving employees, was there from 2002 all the way till 2020. Even was an employee up till the point where he passed. Actually, he was working from home while getting chemotherapy treatment for his cancer and all that kind of stuff. Wow. So big shout out to Bob Ryder going in there. Fantastic induction and stuff like that. And obviously your boy Rhino.
Yeah, Rhino.
The reason I put this together, you were going to be on the show. Rhino going into the TNA Hall of Fame.
Well, I thought it was because my old friend PCO was on there.
No.
No. You're not even like, well, I know you like PCO, but no, it's not that. No, Rhino's I love Rhino. It's well timed that he got his flowers, because I don't think he gets that a lot. People kind of forget that he's been around since the beginning of time, and like, he was great. And in TNA, I think he kind of found that spark again. He was with Heath Slater for a while, and then he was doing a couple of things, but he's a legend. Very, very underrated. Doesn't get anywhere near enough credit he deserves, and I'm really happy he's getting inducted along with Bob Ryder. What a superstar, and what a dedicated, hardworking person. And TNA, I know it has its many downs, but it also has many ups. Many great matches, great memories and stuff. And to think that if he never went to Jeff and Jerry Jarrett, we wouldn't have that at all. So rest in peace. And probably I couldn't think of anyone more deserving of getting into the Hall of Fame.
I think I read today Impact Wrestling referred to him as the heart and soul of the promotion. And when he passed away, Bill Apter closed down OneWrestling.com in his honor after his death. So there you go. Yeah. So that's how much people thought of him and stuff like that. So great that he's taking his spot as always. Ted's not happy with the spelling of Rhino for obvious reasons.
You prefer? Yeah, because Rhino or Hino is a Rhino, but or HY is the Rhino. So I don't mind, but it's whatever. I think, having a different spelling, I'd rather him have his name spelled funny than not be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So I'll survive.
I suppose with them all now working together under the same umbrella, surely he'd be able to, use whatever he
WWE
wants.
probably have the Y copyrighted now that I think of it. So it's probably
But they're unlikely to sue someone that's under their same umbrella of TKO, are they? Like, that would feel weird, wouldn't it? That'd be like WWE suing the UFC or something now, or something like that. That would feel weird. That would feel like that would last about a day, and then Ari Emanuel would just walk in and go, "Boys, this ain't happening. Shut it down."
I don't know, but I'd rather him, as I said, I'd rather him have a funny spelling name than not be in the Hall of Fame. And
Speaking of
Yeah.
Rhino going into the Hall of Fame, and Ted mentions AJ Styles. Boy, God, the matches that they had was the
No,
hardest.
his time will come. His time will come. Speaking of Monsters Ball, actually, because PCO and Macro was on it, this is on YouTube. I can't remember the show, but it's a Monsters Ball between Rhino, Sabu, Jeff Hardy, and Abyss. It is insanity. Jeff Hardy does a swanton bomb through a table off the top of the Titantron. And it's when they had the really tall Titantron. So it's carnage. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Go watch it. It's fantastic. I don't think Cardone and PC will be as good as it, but it's amazing. That's probably one of my favorite Rhino moments in TNA.
It's mad when you think about Abyss as well, isn't it? And some of the stuff he did. Yeah, Ted thinks it's 2006 Monsters Ball. Yeah,
he looks a bit like. Did anyone ever tell you he looks a bit like Joseph Park, Esquire?
He does, yeah, absolutely. But it's weird now, isn't it? I think is he an agent now in WWE? Did I read, or in NXT or something like that?
No, he's in WWE. I think he
WWE is an agent. And I was thinking, it's mad the way it all evolves and changes.
It's a shame. I think him and Abyss would have been a great tag team, but good on him, I suppose. I actually found Joseph Park before before Abyss, and I watched the match. I think it was like Monsters Ball with was it Eric Young or so? I can't remember, but he's Joseph Park and he was getting destroyed. And he's like, "Oh, I can't do it," and then he can, and then he's bleeding and he sees his own blood and he becomes Abyss in a tracksuit. I thought that was great. So
yeah, absolutely.
he's earned that producer role. He can do whatever he wants.
Absolutely, he's put the shift in. He is. He was the agent for Punk and Drew's match. That's right. Hell in the Cell. That's what I read.
Well, yeah. If there's any doubts that he's a legend, look at that match. What a guy!
And it made sense to have him as the agent. Obviously, you're gonna get this toolbox Punk, and you're gonna split his head like a coconut. Yeah,
God. Yeah, that was legit. I don't think he meant it to bleed as much as it did, but it really adds to the match. So
can you imagine? Can you imagine Abyss coming to the two boys backstage? Great job, boys, and then going over to Drew and going, only 14 staples in the head.
Yeah, really. Back, it's like Undertaker complaining about like the locker room culture. Back in my day.
Yeah, get that man a plaster for that. He doesn't need staples.
Wokey nonsense.
Yeah. Right, let's do a quick bit of history and some notable birthdays. We've a few this week, so we'll go run down through them. And then we will let you all off to finish off watching the Champions League if that's what you want to do. So we start off 1991 at the WWF Superstars tapings. Jake the Snake Roberts attacked his great rival, the Macho Man Randy Savage. In one of the most iconic segments of that era, the climax of the attack saw Jake Roberts unleash his King Cobra on Savage with the reptile biting Macho Man's bare arm. And we know the story backstage where Macho Man didn't want to do it. He didn't believe about the venom. And Jake had to let the snake bite him on the leg in front of Macho Man to prove it. Remember that story? That was so cool.
Unbelievable.
2017, WWE presented the TLC pay-per-view from the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Kurt Angle, of course, made his appearance as the member of the Shield.
So and Finn Balor got saved from a potential stinker with Bray Wyatt and instead had a banger with AJ Styles.
That's right.
If I remember. That's right, isn't it?
I think that's right, yeah, from what I remember. 2004, CM Punk beat AJ Styles to win the IWA Mid-South Heavyweight Championship in Highland, Indiana. There you go.
Yeah, I love IWA Mid-South. If you haven't already, it's on YouTube. Go watch Smojo versus Necro Butcher from IWA Mid-South. It is a roller coaster. He's still wrestling now. I think he's actually in XPW when he's called the MAGA Butcher.
Yeah. Oh,
And he's
God.
he's like in his late 50s, and apparently like he's no selling chair shots to the head like Masato Tanaka or
That's
something.
it. That's
guy.
it. The good old days. Taker talks about where you worried the guy you were working with was genuinely going to try and kill you with a snake on
Yeah,
live TV.
so soft these days, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. 2006, we had the 700 episode of Raw aired in the main event. Randy Orton pinned Triple H for the win. There we go. Fitting for a 700 episode. 2000, Rodney Inoue, also known as Yokozuna, sadly passed away at the age of 34. Yokozuna. There we go. 2003, Stephanie McMahon and Paul Triple H Levesque were married, and it became the McMahon Hemsley era for real. And then, of course, we had to put in a little bit of Irish for what's coming up. Let me get this off the screen, actually. We're done with Bound for Glory. 2004, when we opened up the shop, Fergal Devitt, who would go on to be known as Finn Balor, defeated Drew Onyx to win the NWA British Commonwealth Heavyweight title in Cardiff, Wales. Shout out to Drew Onyx, who's dropped into the shop on a number of occasions with his crew. From across the water and stuff like that. He's an absolute gent. And anytime he's over in Ireland for whatever reason or for shows, always makes a point of dropping in and saying hello. And on the back of the door in the shop, we have the original 8x10s that those boys signed for me and stuff like that as well. An absolute gent, True Onyx. 2009, at a press conference in New York City, it was announced that Hulk Hogan had signed with TNA Wrestling. R.I.P. TNA Wrestling, and then the rest is history.
Yeah.
For the weekend of Bound for Glory, why did I put that in there? God help me.
Sake.
A gent and a fucking unit, absolutely.
Huge.
And Keith Seary, 2-2, Real Madrid scored again. There we go. Notable birthdays for this week: 1970, D'Lo Brown. 1944, Bushwhacker Butch Miller.
Wow.
Pedro Morales, 1942. I was a big fan of Pedro Morales, actually, back in the day.
Oh, he was great, wasn't
he? Yeah. Bad News Brown, or someone now was Bad News Allen, 1943. His stuff with Piper is legendary. Carmella, 1987. Aoife Valkyrie, 1996. There you go. Braun Breaker, 1997. Perry Saturn, 1966. Too Cold Scorpio, 1965. I told you I had a few tonight. Kevin Sullivan, 1949. Rest in peace. Robert Currigan, 1969. Taka Michinoku, 1973. Bobby Fish, 1979. And we rounded out with the cult of personality himself, CM Punk, 1978. All celebrate their birthdays this week.
We weren't lying about all his birthdays, Jesus.
And you know, for the last few weeks, I've had 3 or 4. It just sometimes it's the way it falls. You know? So
what a diverse lineup you have there.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Scorpio, Bad News Allen, D'Lo.
I heard D'Lo came out with the neck going 90.
Yeah. God,
and you know something, it's always a strut that people do as well, isn't it? Big up Eno, thanks for dropping in for the show and all. Absolutely perfect. And we're going to get you on shortly. We're going to pick a show and we're going to do something with you, pal, over the next couple of weeks. Get you on and stuff like that. Bit of crack. Hopefully we'll have you back on next week to give us a roundup of how your weekend went. Dare I say, Limp Bizkit tickets this week?
I signed up for pre-sale. Just saying.
There you go. There you go. Same as myself. I got an L3 code, as you do.
Oh, I'm a peasant. I'm just on MCD, I'm afraid.
So we might have to meet up for a drink at that gig then if we both get tickets. Go. Should be.
I won't be there, but someone that looks like me dressed as Fred Durst might be. So
I could be the same. Forever young. Really? Don't worry about my age. Oh yeah, I'm all in on that kind of thing.
It's just a number. The entire crowd at Belfast is teenagers and balding men. It was biblical.
I do want to see pictures from Halloween as well.
I'll do my best. I'll get you on too on the job. I'm actually we have a Halloween party in college tomorrow. So the first year students can be playing music and we're doing sound for them, but apparently there's fancy dress prizes, so we'll be going as Mr. Durst. Unfortunately, I ordered, the red fit in New Era hat.
Yeah.
And it hasn't showed up yet. It's pissing around in the Netherlands. So I have a master plan. I've got this Bloodline hat that I got in WWE Dublin. I'm going to turn it around, and to cover up my head, I have this Sligo Rovers hat. Where is it? There it is. So,
so you're set.
It's a red fitted New Era hat. If you ignore the black part at the end,
improvisation on your feet as always. That's what we want to see.
It doesn't work whenever a thick pair of beats in my head, but it look good tomorrow. And also, got some colored hairspray. I'm not sure this is the color. It's more kind of golden brown, dark brown than dark blonde than platinum. But it's the effort that counts, right? So
that's it.
Yeah,
that's
A for the nookie.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, folks, thanks for tuning in tonight. Sean, thanks for taking the time to come on. Love having you on as always. We will hopefully catch you next week for next week's show. We'll get a summary of the whole weekend if you have survived it. But yeah, it should be pretty cool.
No promises.
So until next week, folks. If you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, drop a like on the video, all that kind of good stuff, and we will talk to you again real soon. Cheers, bro.
Thanks so much for having me. Have a good weekend, everyone.